So let's dive into something that Bart Scott said, though, Darius Butler, because I think this will be interesting because you got to play against both of these men. He said it's much more scary to take on Peyton Manning. Yeah, former NFL linebacker Bart Scott admitted that it was more nerve-wracking to face Peyton Manning as a quarterback than Tom Brady. This particular tweet comes from Sports Illustrated, but everybody was following this. Why is that, D-Butt? And do you think that is a lot of people's thoughts in the defense and in the secondary?
No, I think if you ask defenders, it'll probably split down the middle or close, maybe 60-40 one way. You split hairs whenever you get into talking about these all-time great quarterbacks, Peyton, Brady. You know, I grew up watching that rivalry, obviously, but they brought different things to the game. Peyton was more of that, you know, sheriff at the line of scrimmage. You knew where his guys were going to be. You knew where Reggie and Marv were going to be. You knew where Garcon and Reggie were going to be. But he would get to the line and change routes up, change plays up, adjust a lot on the fly. And Brady did it kind of differently. He would kind of, fuck you over with personnel. You know, he may have 13 in a huddle or 22 in a huddle and then come out in an empty set. And he would change the tempo a lot. He'll get to the line of scrimmage quick sometimes. Sometimes he'll get there and adjust. So it was different things with the different players. But if you ask 1,000 defenders, it'll probably be split right down the middle. Me and AB talked about it this morning on the pod. Obviously, Antoine, he played 14 years in the league. A bunch of those years with Peyton. Beat Brady to go to a Super Bowl, and he basically said the same thing. He did pick Brady, though, if he had to pick one, just because he did that to go to the Super Bowl. And, I would go against Peyton. I had more success against Peyton on the teams than individually. So I think if you ask defenders, it'll probably be split down the middle. That's kind of preposterous to say every defender would say they'd rather play Tom than Peyton. Like, come on now. Dude's still throwing for 5,000 yards right now.
I think you're right, D-Butt. I think you're right. There's not like there's a crazy different like style of play. We're not saying Peyton Manning, Mike Vick, like where you have to defend him much differently. But I wanted to ask you about the quarterbacks, about Peyton and Tom. You think we're gonna see many guys like him as the quarterback position as we, continue in the NFL? These like old school kind of stand there, take your drop, get rid of the ball quarterbacks. Even the younger guys that are big can move like hell. We know that. Like, are these guys going to be able to continue to play?
I mean, I think so. I think it's always a place for a quarterback that can sit in the pocket and, just dissect defenses and know. Because it's all about matchups. Like, speaking of Bart Scott, I remember Monday Night Football game 2010 in Gillette Stadium. We beat the Jets 45-3.
Hell yeah.
And he didn't target Revis one time, and I think he barely targeted Cromartie. So it was all about finding a matchup. They did end up beating us in the divisional playoffs that year, and maybe went to the AFC Championship that year. Yeah, but I think it's always a place for a pocket quarterback, and then being able to use your legs when you can. Young guys like Trevor Lawrence, like he can be a pocket guy who can dissect things from the pocket, but also run and run for a 20-yard scramble. Same with Herbert. Burrow's not as fast as those guys, but I think it'll always be a place for those pocket quarterbacks.
Yeah, Mac, I think, is the most recent success story, but he's only a rookie, and I guess we did see him gritty at the Pro Bowl. He has some rhythm. Seems like we'll be able to move a little bit, ran a 4.6. How about it? Do you think you have to be able to dissect a defense to win a Super Bowl? That's what I think you have to have that level. So AJ's like, are these people going to exist? Great question, because Mac seems to be the only real one right now. Joey Burrow, kind of similar. Yeah. But those are really the guys that are winning Super Bowls are the dissectors of the defense. Do you think you have to have that ability to win then?
I think you do. I mean, you just got to, because defenses, especially once you get into the later part of the season, defenses, it's different when you just have 2-3 days to prepare for an opponent, and then the coaches are already kind of halfway preparing for the next opponent in the middle of that week. In the playoffs, late in the season, it's all hands on deck to win that one game. So defenses are going to throw their best. They're going to throw all the different looks. They're going to take away the things and try to make you beat you left-handed. So the quarterbacks like Brady, like Manning, like Montana, the Super Bowl winners over the years, they did the best at adjusting and stepping up in the most clutch situations. So I think some of these guys, that can beat you with their legs as well, will have the ability. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, guys like that have the ability to win Super Bowls. But at the end of the day, most games come down to 2 minutes. And if you can, there's a lot of dissecting that goes into 2 minutes. A lot of coaches put their game plan in, but the quarterbacks kind of got to take that offense by the horns and get it done. So I think You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be able to dissect and get the ball to your playmakers and make pinpoint throws.
I think the people we see succeed seem to have common trends. You know, the teams, that we see succeed seem to have common trends right now. A lot of stars, a lot of power, and a quarterback that can throw the ball all over the yard. And although the game is continuing to change, you still see that old school. Got to be able to stop the run. Got to be able to run the ball at certain times. It's always there. You know, it's always there.